watching this after, or if you're watching this right now, I made a lot of notes about this before I started. So if it looks like I'm reading, that's actually because I'm reading. So I'm not going to try to hide that. So I've written down 3 reasons why my body thrive in Africa. So let's get going, getting to my notes. Reason number 1, time bleeding. So when I get to Africa, and I've really only been in Egypt, Ethiopia, and South Africa so far. Anyway, when I get to Africa, my body gets this undefined space of home, and it relaxes. And part of that seems to be connected to time bleeding. Time bleeding is this sense that you can perceive or even see history bleed through today. Sometimes people literally see the past walking side by side of modern life, or it can just be this feeling, this sense of all different times being present simultaneously. And for my body, it's like it's bleeding all the way back to the beginning, when the continent of Africa was like the cradle of humankind. And this is where it all started, where the choice began. When and where we started to walk the earth, home. And my body also seemed to be aware of previous lives that I've had in Africa. There's this sense of recognition, something bittersweet, remnants of the past, the now and the future, blending together in a different way, and a different way than anywhere else on the planet. Home. So that's reason number 1, time bleeding. Reason number 2 is that my body feels admired. So where I currently reside and grew up, Sweden, Scandinavia, perfection and righteousness, or rightness actually, is the dominating paradigm. And youth. Oh, don't forget youth. So really, you have to be tall and slim, well-trained, and there's very little, appreciation or allowance for curviness or voluptuous bodies or wrinkles around the eyes. Oh, and we also learn to take nearly everything for granted, even survival. So in Africa, for me, there is so much more aliveness, sexualness, really. And what the bleep is sexualness? So this is an access word and not really translatable. It's not something we learn about in schools. So sexualness is about having the energy of gifting and receiving simultaneously. It is a healing, caring, nurturing, joyful, generative, creative, expansive, and orgasmic energy. It is the energy of life and what you feel in nature, and it has no judgment. So that energy obviously exists all over the world, in every country, every culture. And for me, it is more prevalent. It has more space somehow and more easily accessible for me and my body in some places, some countries, some cultures. So when my body gets to South Africa or Italy or Spain or Mexico, there's much more of this energy readily available. It's like an intimacy and connection with nature, a celebration and gratitude for being alive. Like you're not taking it for granted. And there's so many different ways that people and bodies show up. There is different sizes and forms and height and color. And that multitude is in everything. It's in the looks, the taste, the sounds, the smells, like even the air. And my body instantly feels more alive, more appreciated, admired, and it thrives on that. Again, it relaxes, and then it shows up differently. It shows up more beautifully. And what I notice is that when I'm willing to embrace and enjoy this in other countries, the more it also shows up for me everywhere, even in Sweden. It's like I'm retraining me and my body to have sexualness as our point of view. And as we know, our point of view also creates our reality, not the other way around. So let's run a clearing for that. What energy, space, consciousness, choice, magic, miracles, mysteries, possibilities, power, and potency can we in our bodies be to have sexualness as our reality for all eternity? Everything that doesn't allow that, can we uncreate and destroy it? I know I'm going to bad pop all night shorts, boys, poets, and beyonds. And I actually had a clearing even for the first one where I talk about time bleeding. I missed it, so let's go back there. To remember the first reason why my body thrives in Africa was time bleeding. So everything we're avoiding and defending that keeps us from perceiving, knowing, being, and receiving everything from every time that we're avoiding and defending, can we uncreate and destroy all of that? Right and wrong, good and bad, podpoc, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. Okay, so we done reason number 1, which was time bleeding. And then we done reason number 2, which was that my body feels admired, the sexualness of the continent. And then we have reason number 3, the undeniable presence of the planet. So for me, Earth and nature is more acutely present in Africa than most other places in the world. Yeah, maybe not everywhere, not in the middle of cities like Johannesburg or Addis or Nairobi. But on the large Earth, the planet is still somehow dominant on this continent. Humans have not taken over completely. Nature is still playing, roaming, and there's this infinite multitude of life. Like life forms, actually, even like animals, flowers, plants, insects, trees, birds. There are even prehistoric creatures grazing on the savannah, like rhinos. And how amazing is that? And how aware are our bodies about the timelessness of a rhino? We're all made of this stuff of stars, and in Africa, more than anywhere else, I can perceive the energy of the stardust pulsating in the very ground that I walk on, in the energy in the air, and when I look up into that deep sky. Awe, wonder, gratitude. That is part of the reasons that I and my body thrive in Africa. There are also reasons why my body doesn't always thrive there, but that's another conversation. Remember, everything is the opposite of what it appears to be, and nothing is the opposite of what it appears to be. I'm going to say that again. Everything is the opposite of what it appears to be, and nothing is the opposite of what it appears to be. And finally, I wanted to run this clearing with all of you. What a beautiful world do you know is possible and available that nobody else knows? Everything that doesn't allow it, and all the emotional pull-outs and literal pull-outs you have that tell you it is not possible. Will you rescind, revoke, recant, renounce, reclaim, denounce, destroy, and uncreate it all? Times a gazillion. Right and wrong, good and bad, podpoc, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Whew. Yeah, that was it. Those are my 3 reasons why, or those are 3 of all the reasons, I guess, why my body thrives in Africa. And how did I get so lucky that I actually traveled there in just, I think, like 2 weeks? I'm going to go to South Africa again. And if you would like to explore any of this with me, check out what classes I have coming up on katarinavalentin.com/classes. And I really hope to see you there. And I am so grateful for the awe and wonder that is available on this planet.